This is RJ-Carbone, and you're listening to BD4.
One by Mattingly. Oh, hang on to the roof.
The Rose. He shook up the world again.
Anthony for three.
Bang! That one goes down, and the game is tied.
See ya. A monster home run. Back-to-back home runs by the baby Marlins.
Penetrates, creates, and showing some dexterity as well with the left hand.
It's the left. It's on its way. There it goes, and the Yankees are going for the win. Oh! It's gone off the window. Oh, unbelievable. The first punch he threw.
Houston ducks under. Got it. With 8 tenths left.
It's Yankees win. Yankees win.
All right, what's happening? What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, RJ-Carbone, and you are listening to episode 367 of BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. We also do MMA now, too. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, MMA on the weekends. Now, yeah, we do Yankees every series, but obviously this is in the middle, smack in the middle of a 4-game set, with the Chicago White Sox as I am recording. So for the 4-game sets, every once in a while you'll see us split the series in half. So we might have 2 episodes. So we're going to have an episode right now, obviously, and then we'll have another one at the very end of the series. Just, it makes it easier for me that way with the workload. I got a lot going on right now with work and class. So for the 4-game series, we're going to do, occasionally we'll split it into 2 episodes. So we're going to talk about the first 2 games of the set tonight. And yeah, things continue to go well, as you can see. The Yanks keep on winning. So yeah, welcome to the show. If you are new here, be sure to subscribe to the podcast, episode 367 of BD4, which you can find on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, many other listening platforms. You can also watch the podcast on Spotify and YouTube. If you want to follow me on social media, you can find me on Facebook at rjcarbone. That's r.jcarbone. And you can find me on Instagram at rjcarbone. Welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in. And you know what? I don't want to waste any more time because I am very tired. I was going to say a little tired, but I am very tired. And let's just get right into these first couple games. We'll recap them and then talk about a few things because yeah, it's going well right now for the Yankees. You can't complain at all. So let's get to our first break, come back, start up with the NYY-NYK-MMA Question of the day, and then we'll dive into everything from there. All right, stay with us. We will be right back. So BD4 is on so many platforms to listen to. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud. You can listen to us on Spotify. You can find us on our sponsor, Anchor, and many other listening platforms as well, wherever you get your podcast. But we are also available to watch on YouTube. So if you want to watch us on YouTube, go subscribe there. But if you prefer to listen to us, again, many listening platforms. Just be sure to subscribe, download, give us a rating, a review, comment, share the podcast, and all that fun stuff. This is BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. So if you guys want to follow me on social media, be sure to do so right now. I'm on Facebook at rjcarbone, and I'm also on Instagram at robjcarbone. Once again, if you want to find me on Facebook, that is rjcarbone. Instagram at rjcarbone. All right, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to BD4. You're listening to episode 367 of the podcast. As I'm recording, it's Friday the 13th. Yeah. Technically, it's now Saturday the 14th because it's past midnight as this game went on for a bit. And as you are listening to this, it's Saturday, May 14th, the earliest. So the first game of the set went well. You know, the Yanks took the win. And the second game of the set also went well. The Yanks took the win. So they have now won 5 in a row, 17 of their last 19, and 24-8 overall. People have been bitching about the length of both of these games so far. Michael Kay in particular continuing to complain. I feel like every other night, it's like, dude, you're a baseball announcer. At some point, toughen it up and deal with it and know that you're going to have to deal with this because you're watching baseball. Your job is to talk about baseball. It sounds like you don't like baseball. Maybe it's not the sport for you. Stop complaining about the pace of the game every other night. It bothers me because you hear this shit everywhere now. And you all know my take on it. Not going to go further, but it's annoying. Apparently it's 90 degrees in Chicago lately, so maybe the heat has gotten to K. But the first game of the set went very well. The Yankees took it by a score of 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion to 7. 15-7, the Yankees took it. They had prospect Luis Gil on the mound going up against Dylan Cease, who was pitching very well for the Chicago White Sox heading in. Top of the first inning, the Yanks cracked the board immediately on Thursday night. DJ LeMahieu on a hanging curveball picks up a leadoff line drive double. Judge and Rizzo go down swinging, but then Giancarlo Stanton pulverizes an upstairs meatball fastball by Cease for a 2-run shot. It's 2-0 Yankees. And it was funny because I saw a clip after the home run on Instagram. I think Talking Yanks posted it, where some jackass in the Chicago crowd was jeering him and giving Stanton overrated chants, and you heard it loud. And then right after that, he just drills that home run the other way. Bottom of the first, Luis Gil takes the bump, and he was looking good to start. 9 quick pitches. He strikes out Tim Anderson on 4 pitches, goes with the slider, then gets a quick pop-up from Moncada, and then goes with the high heat to strike out Abreu on 3 pitches. Looked very good. Top of the second for the Yankees, not much besides a Gallo walk. Then Dylan Cease strikes out the other 3 batters from there. Bottom of the second, Luis Gil then gets into trouble. He's hit around a little bit. Luis Roberts picks up a leadoff single against him. Then Grandal walks on 4 pitches. You get the mound visit. Matt Blake comes out to talk to him. Batter later, Luis Gil misplaces a slider to Pollock for the RBI double. Does the same thing with 2 outs to Garcia. Leaves it up a bit. 2-run single. So it's 3-2 Chicago takes the lead. I think he had a pickoff in this inning too. I'm thinking back a couple of games, but I think he had a pickoff in the second. Top of the third, the Yanks are down 3-2, but Judge draws a 1-out walk. Rizzo triples, an RBI triple for him. I think that's his second of the season. Then you have Giancarlo Stanton takes another fastball deep. This one was middle, and he goes the other way again for a 3-run home run. It's 5-3 Yankees. Bottom of the third, a nice rebound inning from Luis Gil. Rizzo made that error, but other than that, nothing came across. Top of the fourth, the Yankees add another run. Higgy, a 2-out base hit. DJ LeMahieu, an RBI double to left field. 6-3 Yankees. Cease's night was over after 4 innings pitched. 6 hits allowed, 6 runs allowed. He issued 2 walks, struck out 11, 2 home runs allowed, 90 pitches. Yeah, he was striking out literally everybody in the Yankee lineup, especially to start the game. The first 8 Yankee outs were all strikeouts. And then 11 of the 12 outs he recorded overall were strikeouts. It was a very, I saw on Twitter, I thought it was hilarious. Somebody said it was a very Michael Pineda-esque start. And I'm like, wow, that is definitely true. Just thinking back to all the times where his stuff looked filthy, but somehow he let up a bunch of runs. I always thought he had so much potential. Unfortunately, it never panned out here. Bottom of the 4th, Luis Gil gets into some more trouble. It could have been way worse, though. You know, he loses the zone against Sheets with a 4-pitch, 1-out walk. And then he surrenders back-to-back base hits when he leaves a few pitches up. He leaves a slider up to Adam Engel for the second base hit in a row. Bases are loaded, 1 out. Matt Blake comes out for a mound visit. Luis Gil then misfires his changeup way upstairs to Garcia, but he gets away with it when Garcia grounds into a force out as Donaldson makes the smart throw home. I hate when people let the run score. I love when players go home to prevent the runs. Love that move. So 1 run eventually does score on a wild pitch to Tim Anderson, but that was all. It was 6-4 Yankees after the frame, and Luis Gil's night was done after 4 innings. We'll talk about him in a second. The 5th inning comes, and the Yanks strand a few in the top half of the frame. Just 1 second here. Make sure we're all good. Okay. And then the bottom of the 5th comes, and Miguel Castro, first in relief, gets it done. The bottom half. 6th inning comes. DJ bounces into the double play. Nothing happened there. Litke checks in. He drops the pop-up, but no run score, fortunately. Top of the 7th, and the Yankees put up 2 runs. Aaron Judge, a leadoff home run versus not Bill Burr. Burr leaves a fastball up. I think it traveled 457 feet off the bat of Judge to left field. 7-4 Yankees. I know Judge is a great opposite field hitter. A lot of his home runs do go to right field, right center field. But there's just something about watching Judge pull the shit out of a home run. The sound of that last night, the crack of the bat, the way it jumped off his barrel, the way the ball jumped off the bat, the sound, it was beautiful. And his home runs this year have been shots. Like, they've been 2017 Aaron Judge type home runs, where they're all traveling 420 plus feet. So it was awesome. That was like a highlight I watched over and over that night. Bottom of the 7th, Johnny Lasagna comes in and he implodes once again. Litke leaves the game after a leadoff infield single. Lasagna comes in and walks Tim Anderson. Then he leaves his 2-seamer over the heart of the plate to Moncada, who mashes it for a 3-run home run to tie the game at 7. After a mound visit, Lasagna then gets the 3 ground ball outs. A little too late, though. Top of the 8th comes, and this is where the Yankees put the game away. They score a touchdown in this 1 inning. And they score 7 runs the inning, but it all came with 2 outs and nobody on base, which is absurd. You do not see that. It was just an impeccably impressive display of offense. I mean, you had walks, singles, there was a homer in there. You start out the inning with a big 2-out walk by Marwin versus former Yankee friend Joe Kelly. Then you get the mound visit, and then Gleyber pinch hitting for Higgy. He draws an excellent walk. This was a key walk for him. Last few seasons, Gleyber maybe chases a few of those pitches that Joe Kelly threw there. Drew an excellent walk at that plate appearance. Then DJ LeMahieu takes the plate. He walks on 5 pitches to load the bases, and right there, that should have been it with Joe Kelly. But La Russa keeps him out there for Judge, and Judge up with the bases loaded. Obviously, everybody's expecting the big bomb with how he's been going lately, but he gets the job done with the ground ball single to shortstop. Tim Anderson has to make the throw across his body. Tough play. Judge beats the throw out, and both Marwin and Marwin and Gleyber Both score on the infield ground ball. So it's 9-7 Yankees. Just some great base running awareness by the Yankees. You know, we talk about this team being more athletic this season, being better on the bases and taking more chances. That right there was an excellent job by Gleyber to make that read from second base. And also a great job by Judge sprinting down the line. So these are some aspects of the game the Yankees did not have last year, at least in the first half before they made those trades. They did not have that. That right there certainly should have been it for Joe Kelly, not just because he was off, but you had a solid lefty in your pen who'd been very good for you this year. I know he had a couple of rough outings lately, Tanner Banks did, but he's been good overall. He had an excellent April. You had two lefties coming up in Rizzo and Stanton. You think he'd go with the lefty on lefty. He also had Hendricks, Foster, and what's the other guy they like? Graveman in the bullpen. La Russa did. But they didn't pitch at all the other night. So after the game, La Russa says he didn't want to waste an arm. It's like, dude, you're down 2 runs. Waste what? You're not down 5 runs. But no, Joe Kelly stays in the game. He throws a wild pitch with Rizzo at the plate. And you got another mound visit. But Kelly then walks Rizzo on 4 pitches to load the bases again. And then he comes out of the game a little too late. Jesus Christ. So you have Stanton. You have Stanton versus Tanner Banks. And, Stanton comes through again with a sharp line drive, 2-run single to center field. Another play where the Yankees displayed some great base running. Maybe only 1 run scores there last year. And then Donaldson brings the rain, a 3-run bomb in the 7th. This was in the 7th? Top of the 8th. Same inning. But it was the 7th run of the inning. And the Yankees go up 14-7. Bottom of the 8th, the Yankees make their defensive changes. Chad Green then enters the game, puts a few on, but no runs score. In the top of the 9th, they tack on Gallo with the leadoff base hit, Gleyber and DJ with back-to-back 1-out singles, and then Judge pushes across a run with a sac fly. 15-7 Yankees. I know the game was over at that point, but I did like how they manufactured there. He had 3 singles and a sacrifice to cap it off. And so bottom of the 9th comes, and the Yankees end it. Green goes 1-2-3 with a pair of Ks to Moncada, and then Roberts to end the game. So a very sharp, very fun victory for the Yankees. And we're going to try to play these highlights if you're watching the podcast. Hopefully they don't get taken down by YouTube. We'll see if we can figure it out. So, the offense, again, it was an impeccable display of offense. He had 15 runs on 15 hits. 7 of them were extra base hits. 7 walks, 14 strikeouts, 6 for 12 with runners in scoring position, and 6 men left on base. Aaron Judge goes 2 for 4, drives in 4 runs, has 1 home run, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Giancarlo Stanton goes 3 for 4, a career 6 RBIs on the night. 2 home runs, a walk, does not strike out. Donaldson goes 2 for 5 with a couple ribbies and a homer. DJ LeMahieu goes 3 for 5, couple doubles, a ribby, and a walk. And hitting is contagious, man, because even Kyle Higashioka, who's been sitting, below the Mendoza all year, picks up a surprising not 1 but 2 hits. And, as hot as Kyle was, I do want to give credit to Aaron Boone for making the smart move there at the end. That's one of the rare times where I would definitely pull a guy with 2 hits because it is Higashioka, and so expecting a 3rd hit from him there is a little rare. It's, so plus, Gleyber Torres has been the Yankees' clutch guy. I don't even want to just say this season, but since he entered the league, he's been pretty clutch, and he's been a good pinch hitter too. So I agree with the move there. Credit to Boone. Everybody was basically hitting except for Aaron Hicks, who was 0 for 5. Heading into this game, heading into Game 2, Hicks had been hitless since May 3rd. I think it was an 0 for 20 streak. So Gallo also struck out 3 times. Now, it's kind of quiet right now with Hicks and Gallo, because the Yankees are winning for 1, and 2, they both have productive nights tonight. But eventually, if they both continue to slump and give them nothing offensively and play below their expectations defensively, if that keeps happening, we're going to have to make a move. I've heard some Brian Reynolds talk. I like him. I don't know how realistic that is. Obviously, I've mentioned before in the show, I'm a big fan of Andrew Benintendi. Again, I don't know how realistic that is. Maybe you do something down the line with the catcher position too, because Trevino is a little better than Higgy this year, but he's not that great of a hitter. And I heard from my buddy Greg from Yankee Crazy Podcast texting me before saying that Ben Rortvedt had another setback. So maybe you make a move there down the line. There's a kid in Oakland, I think his name's Sean Murphy, who people are looking at. Maybe we'll have an episode sometime soon talking about some of the potential trade chips and trade candidates. But overall, it was a very impressive win. Forget all the things I just said about the 7 runs with 2 outs, the base running, etc. But they put up a 6 spot on a very good pitcher, on Dylan Cease, who had been pitching lights out for the Chicago White Sox this year up until that start. I have the numbers right here. His game log from the first game of the year to his most recent start before yesterday. Dylan Cease, 5 innings pitched, 1 run versus Detroit. 5.2 innings, 1 run versus Tampa. 5.1 innings, 4 runs versus Cleveland. 6 innings, 2 runs versus Royals. 7 innings, no runs, 1 hit versus the Angels. 5 innings, 1 run versus Boston. He had a 2.3 ERA heading into his 7th start yesterday. And right away, the Yankees changed that. So they scored early, which is usually their forte, but that's something they hadn't been doing so far this year. Last couple games, they've been doing that. And you hear all the time, Yankees are beating up on bad teams. Dylan Cease is a good pitcher. And we were talking in the last series how the Blue Jays, they're 17-15, but the Yankees being 6-3 against them is a reason they're off this year. So I'm going to give them some credit when they deserve it. I also like how we keep responding this year. The offense keeps responding whenever the pitching gives up runs. It's happening a lot where we go back out there and we score. It happened twice more last night in Game 1. That, again, it has to do with this cocky confidence we have, that resilient energy this year that the Yankees carry. You got to love it. So the offense was great in the first game. Luis Gil pitched, 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, no home runs allowed on 83 pitches. I think the best way to describe Luis Gil right now in his career, he's got major league stuff, but he's also got minor league command. The fastball is around 98. The slider moves a ton. It's got great shape. He's got a good changeup when he can control it. But he's not always very good at taming his stuff. I mean, he was all over the place at parts of last night. So he's going to have to figure out a way to command his pitches. He's got a long way to go. He was sent back down this morning for Clark Schmidt. Good for Clark. He's been doing well. I don't know. Right now, Luis Gil looks like a relief pitcher. But maybe he needs to go back down, keep working on his stuff, and maybe he can still have a shot at being a starting pitcher. But I know he is struggling down in AAA. But the bullpen, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, a home run allowed. Castro through the 5th, Licky through the 6th, allowed a hit, got the hold. Licky's not having the same year. Lasagna pitched the 7th. He did get the win, but he's not having the same year. He's broken right now. I don't know what's going on with Johnny Lasagna, but he's not been having some good games. I hope that he can rebound soon because he was such an electric reliever last year. He was such an essential piece to this bullpen that you hope he can at least find some of that going forward. So, we'll see. Chad Green through the 8th and the 9th, and he got the job done. So that was the first game of the set. The second game of the set we will get to as soon as we get back from break. But yeah, the Yankees they look so good. I was watching the first game, in the garage with my brother, and I couldn't help but get this excitement. Like in these past few years with the Yankees, whenever I watch them, even when they have done good and done well, I didn't get excited just because I didn't feel like this team was that legit. With this Yankees team, I just feel like there's more to be excited about. I feel like it's warranted for me to enjoy the moment. And listen, I'm not saying they're going to go out there and win the World Series. All right? I still stand with my opinion as of now. But are they doing way better than I thought they would so far this year? Yeah. They're not just doing better, they're doing a lot better than I thought they would be. And a lot of that has to do with, like we said, Toronto is struggling. Boston is doing a lot worse than I thought. Baltimore is actually having a better year than Boston, and they're winning lately. I think they were winning 8 of their last 12 heading into tonight. They might have won again tonight. So things are looking up. All right? I'm not saying this team is the best and they're going to sustain this because they're on an incredible pace right now. But I'm going to be able to enjoy it because I know how the Yankees can be. We've seen them enter these prolonged slumps after they have moments of joy. So I'm going to try to enjoy the moments of glory while I can. All right? So it's looking pretty good. The Yankees take the first game of the set by 15-7 score. And let's head to our second break. And then we'll talk about the second game of the set when we get back. But real quick, guys, if you have not yet subscribed to the show, be sure to do that right now. You can find this podcast, BD4, on the many platforms where you get your podcasts on. Just be sure to subscribe, download these episodes so you can listen to it when you're out, and share it on social media and give me a follow on social media as well. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Hey guys, so I've noticed that only a small portion of you who watch BD4 on YouTube are actually subscribed. So if you do enjoy this podcast and maybe you want to be notified when new episodes release, I'd consider subscribing and also hitting that notification bell. This way we can help the channel grow and you won't miss a single episode of BD4. Alright, let's get back to it. All right, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, rjcarbone, and you are listening to episode 367 of BD4. Let's talk about the second game of this set tonight, or last night as you are listening. Friday night, the Yankees took a, 10-4 win? It was Garrett Cole going up against Velasquez. Top of the first inning, the Yankees scoring early once again, gotta love it, and in the same exact way. Excuse me. Shit. Aaron Judge, by the way, there was no Rizzo tonight. Aaron Judge draws a 1-out walk, and then you have Stanton taking a hanging slider to dead center. He didn't even get all of it. He got under it. I thought it was going to be a pop-up, but it's Stanton. 2-run bomb, Yanks up 2-0. Bottom of the first, Cole gets in trouble. Pitch count's high, but he eventually escapes the inning. Gives up the leadoff double to Anderson, then issues the 1-out walk to the COVID MVP, Jose Abreu. Then he works out of it with the fielder's choice and a few Ks. He racked up 3 strikeouts in the first inning. Top of the second comes. The new 789 producing for the Yankees. You got IKF and Trevino with 1 out base hits, and then you've got Aaron Hicks following up with an RBI double from the 9 spot. Would you look at that? It worked. 3-0 Yankees, and that was Hicks's first hit of his career with a man on base. Sure felt like it. You got the mound visit, then DJ grounds out, but a run scores. Good job by DJ hitting the ball hard, putting it in play 4-0. Now, he was 0 for 5 tonight, but the first 2 at-bats, he hit the ball hard. It just was right to the second baseman and then the shortstop. 4-0 after that. Judge draws a walk, and then Donaldson makes it 5-zip with the RBI double off of a slider that was maybe up a little bit. It's 5-0 after a couple of innings. Bottom of the second comes, Cole goes 1-2-3. Top of the third comes, Gleyber gets a single. IKF reaches on a force, then steals second, but then Jose Trevino strikes out to end the frame. Bottom of the third, Cole goes 1-2-3 again. Couple more Ks. Top of the fourth, you get another run to cross the plate when Judge takes a fastball up and away the other way for a home run. Now leads the league. I think he's tied with the asshole from the Astros. It's 6-0 Yankees. Bottom of the fourth comes a couple of base hits. Yanks lose a challenge. Cole balks in that 1 run, but that was all. It was 6-1 Yanks. Top of the fifth, another bomb for the Yankees. Gallo gets his 5th home run of the season. Solo shot to right field. 7-0 New York. Then you had Velasquez leave the game after 5 innings pitched, 7 runs on 5 hits, and 3 walks allowed. Bottom of the 5th, Cole tosses another scoreless inning. Top of the 6th, Souza in for Velasquez, gets the Yanks to go down 1-2-3. Bottom of the 6th, that's when IKF makes another error, and Cole gives up the home run to Sheets after that. They marked it as a base hit. And if you watch the game, that was not a base hit. Top of the 7th, Giancarlo Stanton walks, but really nothing else there for the Yankees. Bottom of the 7th, Cole generates a 1-pitch flyout. 1-pitch flyout, and then he's pulled from the game, which was interesting. He ends up going 6.1 innings. Again, we will get to him. Michael King, then gets the other 2 outs of the inning with a ground ball and a strikeout to Anderson and then Makata. Top of the 8th, nothing for the Yanks. You get the IKF base hit versus Lopez. This was another official scoring error. Then he gets caught stealing. And then Trevino and Hicks go down. Bottom of the 8th, Michael King gets 2 ground ball outs and a fly ball out. Then the top of the 9th, and the Yankees tack on. They get double-digit runs for his second time of the night. The bringer of rain getting hot. First, you have Judge adding to his on-base percentage with another base hit. Then Donaldson pulverizes a meatball with a very level swing, hard line drive the other way, an opposite field 2-run bomb, 9-3 Yankees. Stanton, Gleyber, Gallo all add to their hit totals with 3 hits in a row, 3 singles to load the bases with 1 out for IKF. And IKF with a great textbook at bat, fouling off pitches, and then he connects for the sac fly to make it 10-3 Yankees. Bottom of the 9th comes. King surrenders 3 hits in a run. He's hit with the comebacker, but he's okay. And the Yankees win 10-4. I hate Tim Anderson. The thing with the Donaldson tag, bitching and moaning, oh, you tagged me too hard, is the most, my generation athlete ever. But it just bothered me even more when at the end of the game, he's basically walking to first base with shit body language. But the Yankee lineup, again, producing tremendously for a second consecutive game here. 10 runs on 14 hits, 6 extra base hits, 4 walks drawn, 7 strikeouts, 3 for 7 with runners in scoring position, 7 left on base. Judge went 2 for 3, 2 walks, a home run, and RBI. Stanton went 2 for 4, a walk, a home run, 2 RBIs. So Kay said at the end of the telecast, the Yankees are 21-1 when Judge and Stanton home run together. That's pretty good, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, this is they're both going insane this series, and they're both on pace to, at this rate, they're both on pace to take the 2 featured player spots of the series on Sunday, right? On Sunday night's episode. I didn't see it, but apparently on MLB Network before the game, Brian Kenny was breaking down Giancarlo Stanton, and apparently he was ripping him, which is an odd time to do that because he's very hot. Again, I didn't see it, so if I'm wrong, I am sorry. But from what I heard, he was saying how he can't hit good pitching, and the Yanks are going to have a problem with him in the postseason, which that used to be my narrative. But I think ever since that Tampa Bay series, he's really kind of, I've done not a 180 completely because I still have moments where I'm like Stanton, but I'll say I've done like a 150. All right, I got 30 degrees more left before I'm all the way there. Yeah, it was interesting. I guess the timing of it. Gleyber goes 2 for 5. His numbers are up on the season. By the way, Stanton's batting .283, and all of a sudden he leads the league in RBIs. But Gleyber, with a 2 for 5, another good night. His numbers on the year are now up to 240, 727 OPS. Again, he's going the other way a lot, and tonight he does it again. And I laugh every time he goes the other way because I know that me and Paulie are thinking the same exact thing. We've always had the same consensus when it comes to Gleyber Torres, how when he carries that right center approach, that's when he's right. And we always talk about he has the potential to be a high average hitter. I don't know that he's going to become the old Gleyber Torres, and I don't know that he'll become the Gleyber Torres I thought he initially could become. But if he can hit you 270 plus with an 800 OPS and maybe 20 home runs and play solid second base defense, I will take that and run with it at this point. I will. I think he's been good. He's been a lot better this year than the numbers say. If you watch these games every night, you can see he seems like he's in a better spot. So yeah, good for him. Joey Gallo had a couple more hits tonight. He's over 200. He's finally over the interstate. He's batting 202 on the season. Claps for Joey. He's actually batting over 300 in his last 10 games. So even he's chiming in, which is very good. IKF was on base 3 times tonight with a couple hits and a walk. Again, the defense with him, it's been bad. The Yankee defense lately has not been good. It's been very, very piss poor bad. And IKF has a lot to do with that. But it's not just him. Rizzo made the error the other night. Litke dropped a pop-up, but Torres should have made a few plays. Defense needs to tighten up lately. But yeah, it ain't looking great lately in the field for IKF. We got this kid because of his defense, so he's got to step it up. But at least Donaldson, again, talking about hitting, he's starting to hit. He's up to 233 on the year. His OPS is now 764. He's looking really good. 7 of the 9 Yankee batters came through with an RBI tonight. So yeah, the amount of runs these last couple nights are great. The home runs are great. But what I loved most was when they showed the graphic on the screen at the end of the night tonight. We have 29 hits. 29 hits in 2 games. That's what I like to see. We're scoring runs, and it's not just because we're hitting home runs, but we're getting on base a ton with walks and hits. That's what I like to see. I love the balanced approach. Pitching-wise, Garrett Cole tonight went 6 innings in 1/3, 6 hits allowed, 3 runs. Unfortunately, they're all going to be earned because of the biased Chicago White Sox scoring. 1 walk, 9 strikeouts, a home run allowed, 97 pitches, and the win. He is now 3-0 on the season with a 2.95 ERA. He's throwing hard all night. His fastball was around 100. His breaking pitches looked very great tonight. There was a point where he retired. I think it was 8 batters in a row. Again, IKF did not help him out there in the at the end of his start there. Was it in the 5th or the 6th? But overall, Cole has been a much different pitcher than where he was to start the season. His last 4 starts are all quality starts. 25 and a third innings pitched in his last 4 starts, 34 strikeouts. Michael King. His last 3 outings have not been the same. 5 innings pitched, 2 runs, 7 hits. You know, we'll see. I think he'll be fine. I'm not worried about him too much. I trust his stuff. He was doing so good, you had to expect somewhat of a regression. But, yeah. And, was it John Heyman after last night's game made an excellent point. I was watching MLB Network after the game last night. And John Heyman, actually I was watching it this morning. John Heyman was saying how he actually thinks the deadened balls this year are helping the Yankees. And he's not saying it as like a negative, but he's saying it because Judge and Stanton and some of the other guys they've got hit the ball so far anyway. Their home runs are 450 feet without the dead balls. You deaden the balls, they're still 400 plus feet. So while it's hurting other teams who hit normal home runs and now they're becoming flyouts, the Yankees are still hitting home runs. So I thought that was a good point. Yeah, they're hitting dingers. I think they lead the MLB in home runs. They are definitely up there in runs and all that stuff. They're an exciting team right now. They're exciting to watch. The last couple seasons, have only been exciting when it feels like the replacement players were coming up, right? And the team wasn't fully healthy, which is a problem. But they're fully healthy, knock on wood, so far this year. And I love what I'm seeing. Now, while I do love what I'm seeing, and while I think it's all great and dandy, let's remember this is May. All right? Let's keep that in mind, that it is still very early. In the year. I'm holding back jumping on this team, 100%, throwing a parade for. I'm holding back because until I see this team play at Fenway, I know Boston has sucked so far, but still, I want to see Cole at Fenway. I want to see us play Houston. I want to see us go to the Trop, play Tampa. We haven't played them yet. There are a few teams on my list I want to see this team play against. And after, a few of those series, I'll have a legit, more of a concrete opinion. Also, I feel like every time the Yankees start out hot or get hot and have this incredible stretch, we always seem to find ourselves talking about that 98 team. And it's happening again lately. And I'm like, it's like, all right, I get it. It's fun. But I can't go there yet. All right. I will say that this incredible, insane start for the Yankees gives us a great cushion. Do we go on a slump soon? If they were to get into a slump, God forbid, that this incredible 24 wins, 8 losses on May, whatever, is a good start to be able to absorb that a little more if we do slump. But let's hope that doesn't happen. It's time to finish off these losers. We got Montgomery tomorrow night. We have Nestor on Sunday afternoon. And let's wrap this up. Let's head to our final break. When we get back, we'll wrap it up with the NYY-NYK question of the day. NYY-NYK-MMA question of the day. I always forget to throw that in there because we just started talking about MMA. And then we'll finish it up from there. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to BD4. You're listening to episode 367 of the podcast. Our NYY-NYK-MMA question of the day for episode 367 is, from 1965 to 1973, this former Yankees pitcher threw 250 plus innings in each season. Who was he? From 1965 to 1973, this former Yankee pitcher threw 250 plus innings in each season. Who was he? So if you know the answer, let me know what it is wherever you can reach me. If you get the answer correct, I will let you know. Whether that be on Facebook, Instagram, just reach out to me. And if you get it correct, I'll let you know if you got it correct in the next episode, and I'll give you a shout out. If you attempt to guess the answer but you don't get it correct, well, I'll at least let you know what the answer is in the next show. So one last time, our NYY-NYK-MMA question of the day for episode 367 is, from 1965 to 1973, this former Yankees pitcher threw 250 plus innings in each season. Who was he? All right. So let's wrap it up with our final segment of the show, RJ's Parlay. All right, welcome to RJ's Parlay, where my degenerate self breaks down tonight's big parlay. If I miss, it's not surprising, I just spit. If I hit, I'll probably lose it all tomorrow night, because that's how this works. Welcome to RJ's Parlay. As you can see, our 5-pick parlay for tonight's Warriors-Grizzlies game did not hit. We busted. And it wasn't even close. The only two I did hit on was the Warriors alternate spread of -1.5 and the Curry 35 points, rebounds, and assists combined, plus he got all of that. But I did miss on 3 other picks, which was the alternate over at 208.5. I missed on Jackson, 16 plus points. I think he only had 12. And I missed on Jackson connecting on 2 plus 3-pointers. I think he only connected on 1. It was plus 390 if I did hit, but I missed. So that's it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. That's it for me. I'm your host, RJ Carbone, episode 367 in the books, and I'll see you in 368 on Sunday night when hopefully the Yankees wrap up the series with at least a series victory. Hopefully a sweep. I'll see you next time. Ciao. This podcast is brought to you by Anchor. It's the best way to make a podcast. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm.